This video is brought to you by jadedpainting.ca.
Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of my in-depth review of the new Inquisition Codex supplement for Warhammer 40k. If you haven't seen my first part, please go check it out. Basically summarized, they did get an update. It's in the form of an e-book, so it's online, so I'll be doing it off my iPhone. And yeah, it wasn't a lot of change. Frankly, it seems to me a little bit of a stretch trying to sell some more Inquisition models. So the way they did it was allowing most armies to take them as battle brothers. Most of the good guy armies, at least, take them as good guy armies, allowing them to take them as allies. And it's a bit of a stretch because this entire supplement is only HQs, elites, which can count as scoring units, but I'll mention that in a second. It doesn't count as troops, just scoring units, and dedicated transports. So there's not a lot of force organization in there at the moment. No. So to begin, for this part, I will be going over the force organization chart, what has changed basically, and just my overall thoughts at the end. So the Inquisition half of the Codex for Grey Knights, if you bought it during 5th edition, here, you would have seen that there wasn't a lot to it. It was basically 6 HQ choices, which were Kotiez, Karamazov, and Karamazov, and Inquisitor Valeria. And then there were the Ordo Malleus, Ordo Hereticus, and Ordo Xenos Inquisitors that you can take, starting at 25 points each. And then they also had access to the Inquisitorial Henchman Warband, which had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different Inquisitorial henchmen. They were really cool. Some of them were like Jokera weaponsmiths, demon hosts. One of the big fan favorites were the warrior acolytes, because they were so cheap, only 4 points per model. And you can give them some fun combinations just from hordes of those guys, or tiny squads of them inside chimeras, and fill your army full of them, because they didn't take up any force organization chart. So that's pretty cool stuff. But now in the new update, as I'll go over in just a moment, they have obviously updated the warlords. They've given them access to relics. And if you want to see about the relics, just check out the previous video, and I'll go over points. Basically, to summarize points, the points didn't change. It wasn't a big change at all. For the HQs and the elites, no points changes pretty much whatsoever for any of the guys. And then what they did was they updated the points costs for the dedicated transports to make them more in line with the 6th edition codices that have been released for Space Marines and Dark Angels, which is cool. Like that's good alone, saves you 5 points here and there, but nothing game changer for points changes. So we'll start off, of course, with the HQs. Now in the HQs, now there's only 5 HQs in the supplement. There used to be 6. They got rid of Inquisitor Valeria, and now they're just the 2 named HQs, which are Karamazov and of course Kotiez. Now Kotiez is an amazing HQ to begin with. He's 100 points, which is really cheap, and you give him a relic. The 3 relics are 5, 10, and 20 points for total, so it's nothing bad at all. Grimoire of True Names is 5 points, Liber Heresius is 15, sorry, and Tome of Vethric is 20 points. So you can give Kotiez a relic, which is awesome. Gives him a 6+ invul, or a bunch of different powers depending on which opponent you're taking. So he's 100 points, same exact stat line as before. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks. So he's a basic human, right? And he's an infantry character. His warlord trait has already been determined. It is demon hunter. So him and his squad all have preferred enemy demons. His war gear, his artificer armor, bolt pistol, crack grenades, master, crafted nemesis, demon hammer, psych out, grenades, and cyber eagle. Special rules, independent character, mastery level 2. He's a psyker, and he has stubborn, which is great. It gives your whole squad the ability to keep their leadership regardless of what's happening. And of course, he still has I've been expecting you. As long as an enemy deep strikes within 12 inches of you and you can see them, you get to free firing at them. You can do this as many times as you want per turn, as long as they more dudes deep strike in front of you. That's pretty cool. He has Lord of Formosa. If an inquisitorial detachment includes Inquisitor Cotes, all units of inquisitorial henchmen warbands in the same detachment are scoring units, even if they are not from your primary detachment. So what this means is, basically, if you bring Cotes and you have warbands, they are now scoring. They still, it seems to me, they still take up the same slot, so they'll still be elites, but they become scoring, which is cool. So once again, you'll be taking them as an allied detachment. You won't be taking them as a primary. It doesn't seem like that. And Spy Network, Cotes allows you to reroll the dice to seize the initiative or force your opponent to reroll it. That's pretty cool. Psychic powers, he can take powers from Divination, Pyromancy, and Telekinesis, or he can take them Hammerhand, Sanctuary, or Dark Excommunication. Pretty cool stuff. So exactly the same as before, plus a Warlord trait and access to some relics, and some fine-tuning of the wording. Next, Inquisitor Karamazov. He's the guy on the throne. He's unchanged, still 200 points, same stat line as before. His Warlord trait is Witch Hunter, so his squad, his attachment will have preferred enemy Psychers. Pretty cool stuff. And he has a Mastercrafted Multi-Melta, Mastercrafted Power Sword, Frag Grenades, Crack Grenades, Psycho Grenades, Rad Grenades, Orbital Strike Relay. And he has Relentless, and he's an independent character by any means necessary. You can choose to place the Orbital Bombardment over your own guys, and if so, it does not scatter. And Dread Reputation. He can always choose to pass or fail morale or pinning checks if he wishes. Basically, in Throne Judgment, he cannot be embarked in vehicles or buildings because he's on a giant throne. So again, nothing changed there. And then we have the 3 Inquisitors. There's the Malleus, Hereticus, and Xenos, and they all start at a base 25 points. As I said, they're pretty much identical to the way they were before. Ordo Hereticus is the one that can take each of them start with 25 points. Same stat line. They have Carapace Armor, Bolt Pistol, Chainsword, Frag Grenades, Crack Grenades, and Psycho Grenades, and depending on which one you take, they have access to some slightly different war gear. Ordo Hereticus has Stubborn as well. He can replace his Carapace Armor with Power Armor, up to 3 Servo Skulls, Inoculum. He can upgrade to a Psyker Mastery level 1, and if he does, he can exchange his weapon with a Force weapon. Pretty cool stuff. He can take anything from the Relics list, or Divination, Pyromancy, or Telekinesis, Psychic powers. Pretty standard stuff. Next, we have the Ordo of Xenos. Same as before, but he starts in Carapace Armor, Bolt Pistol, exact same stuff as before with the other Ordo. But this one can take a Needle Pistol or Scythian Venom Talon. He can take a Conversion Beamer. He can also upgrade to Carapace Armor. He has access to digital weapons, or Ulumithri Plasma Siphon, which is pretty cool. Basically, it penalizes people who are shooting plasma weapons within close range of you. That's cool stuff. He can take Rad Grenades, also upgrade to a Mastery level 1 Psyker, and if so, he can exchange one weapon for a Force Sword, and has the access to the same Psychic powers and relics. And yeah, so pretty cool stuff. And oh, sorry, also there is Ordo Malleus, which he is the one who has access to... Nope, same stuff. So basically, except he can actually replace... Ordo Malleus can take a... he can take Terminator Armor, yes. He can take Terminator Armor and get a Power Fist and all that stuff instead of the other 2. So Ordo Malleus has access to some pretty heavy stuff. He has the access to most stuff, but he can take Terminator Armor, he can take a Psy Cannon, so pretty cool stuff there. So Ordo Malleus can take Terminator Armor, Ordo Hereticus can take his cool stuff that he can take a Thunder Hammer or Null Rod, Inoculum, and Ordo Xenos can take the Conversion Beamer or digital weapons, or a Needle Pistol or Scythian Venom Talon, or a Plasma Siphon. So that's pretty cool. Each one has slightly different stuff, and obviously, depending on which one you choose for 25 points, you can upgrade them differently and go through different relics or different Warlord traits, and that's pretty cool stuff. And next we have the Elite section, which is just the Henchman Warband. Now there are still 10 Henchmen. Some of the Henchmen have been renamed, and one of the Henchmen has been removed and substituted with a different Henchman. And I was checking, they're not actually the same henchmen that was renamed. They have a slightly different stat line. So they are different henchmen, and they have access to some different war gear. So yeah, the ones that have been, first of all, points-wise, none of them have changed at all. Stat-wise line, none of them have changed at all. The one that was removed was I believe it was the Crusader. No, the Crusader's still in. It was the Banisher. Yeah, the Banisher has been removed. And he was leadership 8, and he was replaced with a new one called the Ministorum Priest, who is leadership 7, but it has 2 wounds, I believe, instead of, or sorry, 2 attacks. Yes, and 2 attacks instead of 1 that had the Banisher. So it is, and it's a character. So it basically has access to an upgrade, a character that you can attach to these guys, and a Ministorum Priest. So that's the big difference in the Elite section. Other than that, the costs and all the special rules are basically the same. So I will go over quickly what they have. So the War Gear, Acolyte has flak armor, las pistol, chainsword. There's the Arco Flagellant, who has Arco Flails. Crusader, flak armor, power weapon, storm shield. Demon Host, close combat weapon. Death Cult Assassin, flak armor, 2 power weapons. Jokera Weaponsmith, obviously defense orbs, digital weapons. Ministorum Priest, here's the new guy. Flak armor, las pistol, close combat weapons, frag grenades, crack grenades, Rosarius. Mystic, flak armor, las pistol, Psyker, flak armor, las pistol, Servitor, carapace armor, servo arm. Special rules. Once again, all the special rules are basically the same for all of the guys, so nothing really changing there. And yeah, so we'll just go straight to the new guy because he's new, and other than that, everything else is, as I said, identical. It really didn't seem like a very big upgrade. People are asking already, what do you think it's worth the cost? Not really. I would actually say no. There's so little change in this supplement. You can just account for the points differences in your head for the vehicles, and you're in pretty good shape. Other than the relics and there's one new, you got 1 new henchman, you lost a henchman, and 1 less HQ. So really not that big of changes. I actually wouldn't recommend purchasing this unless you really want to. Inquisition are cool if you want to learn about the Inquisition. There does seem to be a few flaws in the storyline from what people have been pointing out already, but I will see. So War Hymns. So this is really cool. Now this new guy is a Ministorum Priest Zealot. All right. So War Hymns. Sorry, he has a special rule Zealot, I believe. Yes, his special rule is he is a Zealot. So he also has War Hymns. Now these War Hymns are actually really cool. Model with the special rule can take a leadership test at the beginning of each fight subphase in which he is locked in combat. If the test is successful, choose one of the following War Hymns to immediately take effect. One of them is called the Emperor Protects. The Ministorum Priest and his unit reroll all failed armor and invulnerable saves until the end of the phase. That's awesome. So if you get close, now most of the Inquisitor ways is not get in close combat, depending on what you're running. But if you're running a bunch of Jokera Weaponsmiths or a bunch of Acolytes, you know what? The odds are you probably don't want to get in close combat, but if you do, a priest attached to the squad could be a great savior because you have to reroll all failed saves. That's great. No reroll, feel no pain, but still. The next one is called Emperor's Strength. The Ministorum Priest has a smash special rule until the end of the phase. That's kind of cool. He's only base strength 3, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. He is base strength 3 because they're all the same one, other than the Death Cult Assassins, which are 6. So he gets to go up to strength 6. If you're trying to pop a rhino from behind, you know what? That would help. It's pretty cool. And next one is called the Righteousness of the Emperor. As you can see, these people really like the Emperor. And the Ministorum Priest and his unit reroll failed to wound rolls until the end of the phase. So that's cool if you know that you're going to probably go first. They are initiative 3, so if you're fighting orcs or necrons, you really want to kill them. Roll to wounds, increase your chances of killing your opponent and getting out of that close combat as soon as possible. Cool stuff. And pretty much the rest of the things are the same. There's really, really little new for their access to gear, but they can select things from dedicated transports. And yeah, there are dedicated transports for these guys. And the points cost, Acolytes are 4 points a model. Arc of Flagellants, 15. Yep. Crusaders, 15. Demon Host, 10. Death Cult Assassin, 15. Same as before. Don't care. Weapons, still 35. Ministorm Priests are 25 points a model. So relatively cheap still. Again, they can add some great additions. Mystics 10, Psychers 10, Servitors 10. And they can take, they can replace a bunch of weapons, obviously. They have access to the Acolyte Warriors list. Weapons list, sorry, I think it's Armory list, which are the same weapons as they had before, basically. And yeah, same old stuff. Now we get into the interesting section, which is the dedicated transports people, because they decided to give them access to one more vehicle, which I'll mention in a second, as well as they wanted to update the points costs of the dedicated transports to make them in line with the previous 6th edition codices. So, of course, rhinos have gotten cheaper. That's great. 35 point rhinos, they used to be 40 points in the codex. Awesome stuff. 5 points saved. Rhino's the same as it always. It's a rhino. Yeah, a rhino's a rhino. And yep, rhino's a rhino. And it has access to the side, you know, the same gear as it did when they were Grey Knights. It's just in a different section because they tried to make the supplement feel like a 6th edition codex rather than the 5th edition codex. Slightly different ways they put them back together. Next we have Razorbacks. They used to be 45 points each. Now they are 40 points. So you can save up on your Cyphelman Razorback. You can still give your Razorback Psy ammo, Psy Flame ammo, whatever you want to give it. And yeah, they're in good shape. So you save 5 points. Razorbacks just got even nicer and cheaper, especially if you want to take a bunch of Razorbacks with your Inquisitor Henchmen, you know, have some heavy storm bolters, or sorry, heavy bolters with Psy ammo. Great stuff there. As said, it's just the same normal one. You can access to Twin-Linked Heavy Flamer, Twin-Linked Assault Cannon, Twin-Linked Las Cannon with Twin-Linked Plasma Gun, various items, and they can take Siphon ammunition. Next we have Chimeras, sorry. Chimeras they had access to before, and once again, Chimeras are 55 points. They used to be 55 points, so they're the same price, so it looks like they'll be 55 points in probably the upcoming Imperial Guard Codex, since they're trying to do these ahead of time. And it's the same thing, it's amphibious, as war gear, multi-laser, heavy bolter, smoke launchers. Same exact war gear options as before, so nothing new there. And now we have access to the next one, a Valkyrie. Yes, people, they got access to a Valkyrie. So now you can have your little Inquisitor Henchman flying around the board. That's pretty cool. So Chukara Weaponsmiths popping out, that's kind of fun. This is a fun addition to the new codex I found, but it's not game changing, but it's kind of fun, cool, you know. I think it'll allow them to be a little more competitive because flyers are the thing these days. But yeah, so they have access to a Valkyrie. For 100 points, you can get a Valkyrie. It's a normal Valkyrie, front and side 12, rear 10, 3 hull points. It's a flyer, it has hover, and it's a transport. It has access to a warrior multi-laser, 2 Hellstrike missiles, extra armor, searchlight, special rules, grab, shoot, insursion. If a Valkyrie has moved over more than 6 inches, passengers may still disembark, but they must do so as follows. Basically, they kind of parachute behind where the vehicle did along the path. Pretty cool stuff. Transport, 12 models, fire points none. Access points, Valkyrie has 1 access point on each side of its hull and 1 at the rear. You can take a multi-laser with a las cannon. You can take, you can replace both Hellstrike missiles with 2 multi-rocket pods for 30 points, and you can take 2 side sponsons, each with heavy bolters for 10. And next, for dedicated transports, you can give them a Land Raider. Yeah, so if you want your henchmen being really secure, give them a Land Raider. And Land Raider points, once again, they've gone down 5 points each. Yep, 5 points each one. So a normal stock Land Raider is 250 points. It used to be 255 in the Codex. And as 2 twin-linked las cannons, twin-linked heavy bolters, it's the exact same Land Raider. A Land Raider is a Land Raider is a Land Raider. Then there's a Land Raider Crusader, went from 255 down to 250. And a Land Raider Redeemer. Land Raider Crusaders have 16 model transport capacities. And Land Raider Redeemers, I really like them because I like the flamers that are AP3, are down to 240 from 245. And that's it. So basically that's the entire list. So to go over my summary, not a whole lot is new. Not a whole lot. Very little points changes, 1 less HQ, 1 new character for the henchmen, 1 less character from before. They did update the relics, so now they have relics. They have Some really cool Warlord traits, which are better than the stock book Warlord traits. But besides that, not a whole lot is new. I'd recommend buying this Inquisitor supplement if you're really big into the Inquisition, you already collect them, and you're really liking them. I'd recommend reading it. You might find flaws with the story. Some people have already mentioned that in other reviews I've seen, or very quick discussions about this with other wargamers. Yeah, that's really it. There's not a whole lot new. It seems like it's a bit of a grab to sell the same models they did before, because they're really hard to sell. They're all metal and pewter and fine cast. They're only direct order through Games Workshop. They come in tiny blisters of 1 or 2 models, and they're really expensive to collect. So what they would try to do, make a lot of armies be able to take them in hopes that it increases their sellability. So I really hope you enjoyed this in-depth review, and as discussion of the new things. There weren't a lot, but I hope we can cover everything, and thank you very much for watching this review. Stay tuned for more reviews of other products and paints and books and everything. Till next time, my name is Jay, and please like the video, comment in the comment section down below, and subscribe to my channel if you already haven't done so. This all really does help a lot. So till next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting, everyone.